It's War Dragon time, RPW here with another video to the Beginner's Guide to War Dragon series. Now, all this month we've been going over the same series, and I'm hoping to wrap that up for you here soon. But before we get started, if you'd like to support my channel, the best way you can do that is, of course, by subscribing to my channel and giving my videos either a thumbs up if you like them or a thumbs down if you don't. And then, of course, you can always make your voice be heard, put in some corrections or, some opinions down in the comment section of each video. And don't forget, of course, to hit that bell to subscribe and share with other players. So let's jump into this month's guide. The series is actually on runes and glyphs. My first video when I talked about runes and glyphs, I kept calling them glimpse. It was crazy. Anyways, our first video was actually on what are runes and glyphs, and we went over that last week. If you missed it, go check it out. But this is where we go through the exact historical record as to what these are, where we talk about these are magical stones that have been harnessed with magic by inscribing magical symbols within them that will give a powerful boost to your base and your dragons. And then, of course, the symbols are actually what makes these magical. And then last but not least, well, I shouldn't even say last because there was a lot of other things we went over as well, but we went over rarity levels. Basically saying that the smallest rare you'll get more often, they're most common to get, but they're going to be worth the least on boosts, but they're also going to be the cheapest to upgrade, where the mythic are going to have double features and be very expensive. Now this week we're actually going over base versus dragon runes. And then, of course, make sure you check back on my next video, which might come out today, which is rune and glyph management. And last but not least, next week, we're going to go over the best use of runes and glyphs. So I'm going to pick up to 3 players that actually turn something in to me online, Line. If you have that app, you can look me up at royalpaynewife. It's all small letters. And you could send me a screen recording of your dragon or part of your base that you don't know what's best for that when it comes to the runes, and then of course include your list of runes, and I will go through that video in my next video, or in that video I should say, about best utilizing your runes and glyphs and help you pick what is best out of your pocket for this dragon, or even something that you might want for your base. And this can include videos for your alts. It's completely up to you guys. All right, so today we're going to be going over the difference in the runes that go on each specific, category, whether it is a dragon or a base. So here, for example, you've got your dragon runes. If you go into the dragon equip, you're going to only see your dragon runes. And if you go into your statue on a base, you're only going to see your base style runes, unlike if you go into your vault. All right, so your dragon runes is the first thing I want to go over with you guys today. I'm going to go through a few of the dragons in my alternate account with you. And the first one being 4, because I don't have any runes equipped on him yet. I've been waiting for these video series before I actually start doing these things. Now, 4. 4 is a divine event dragon. And a lot of times you're going to get rune specifics in that line when you claim him. Now you're going to notice he has specific spells called Autumn's Reap, Vanish, and Trap, and so forth. So whenever you get these divine dragons and you've collected up their runes and their glyphs, you're going to want to only use their spell specifics on them. Like if we scroll down through here, there are plenty that we can put on this dragon, but there are going to be, certain ones that only work with him. So you're going to want to put those ones on him first and then save the others for your other dragons. So as we go scrolling down here, there is Rare Hunter Attack, which could work on him. There is, let's see, the Mythic Sorcerer Attack would not, but there's an Epic Rune of Harvest that actually works on him. We'll go ahead and scroll down and see if I have the other one. Yes, I do. The Legendary Rune of Harvest right here. If you'll notice, this is a rune that is 4/4, like it was designed for his Autumn Reap spell. So when I equip this though, guys, you will not be able to salvage it, or just unequip it like with your base. You're going to have to delete it. So make sure before you select anything, you double check what it says, because otherwise you could waste a very nice rune. Now another one in here we saw earlier was the Epic. Now, I don't think that I got anything beyond legendary, but we'll go ahead and just scroll down just in case I'm wrong and make sure that I didn't get something else that I've forgotten about. Yeah, no. All right, so the only other thing that I got for him, of course, is going to be the epic. So we'll scroll back up here. And that's the archer, explosive shield, trebuchet, tough healing, wisdom, which is always a good one. There we go. The epic rune of harvest. So we're going to go ahead and add this one on there as well, because again, these two spells are designed for 4 and his his harvest spell itself. So the autumn's harvest. Now let's go ahead and look at some of these glyphs, see if I got anything else for him in glyphs. I don't think I did, but you always want to double check because, you know, like this is my alt. I don't remember everything I get. That legendary hunter would be a great one. Yeah, I'm not seeing one. So, all right, so that is all that is specifically designed for 4. We'll go ahead and look around here, see what else we could put on this dragon. Now, there are things you're going to notice that are not going to work. And then there's common spells that you may want to save for your dragons that you breed. And then, of course, you know, if it's a warrior specific rune, don't put it on a hunter. All right, so let's look here. All right, so this is a rage glyph. Now, this is a great one to put on any of your dragons because it's going to help build your rage up faster. However, if you do use this dragon outside of the very few that you would breed, I would save anything epic and above for, you know, divine dragons. Don't put those on, you know, your just common bred dragon. Now, I just put the rage glyph on there, and then I put a wisdom, which will help build him up, which I love to put on all of my divines. Unless they go exported, then I'll just delete it for some stuff here. But if you'll notice, this dragon also has ice turret resist. Oh, and let me point out, do you see the vanish there? The vanish is not the same as cloak. So if you put a cloak on this in your glyphs, it's not going to match. Okay, so keep that in mind. But we can see if we happen to have an ice turret in here, ice turret resist. But yeah, whenever, you know, if they create a spell for a certain dragon, even though it might be the same, they'll rename it and redesign it so that certain glyphs don't really match it. But down here we have an ice turret resist rare on the bottom left. So let's go ahead and select that and equip that to our dragon. All right. Now you're going to notice all of these are level 1s now. It will cost you rune dust to level these up. Now, if it was me, I would want to, of course, look at my rune dust first, see how much I have, and kind of divvy that out. And, of course, look at your base. Is there not anything more important on your base that you need to take care of? You can always check that out. Now, if you'll notice, legendaries cost 62K in this, in this situation versus this one only costing 12K. So really look and see what is going to give you your best. You're better off to upgrade something large in most cases than one little thing. You know, so make sure, like, let's say you only have 65,000 and you go upgrade something that's 12,000, then you can only upgrade the one smaller item. Now, when it comes to a dragon like this, which is a bred dragon, it's going to be a different type of equip. Let's go ahead and use Ember for an example. Now, these ones, like I said, I very rarely use anything above epic. Epic and above. However, with Ember, I do love to load this one up with rage runes and glyphs because she tends to back people on ADK, and the bigger you have these, the better it is on your dragon. All right, so I don't think I have any more on here, but if you look here, you can add stuff like this. Wisdom would be a waste on this dragon because unless you're paying to upgrade this thing, which I don't think most people are, it's seriously a waste. And then if we scroll on down, we have a sorcerer, which does no good. Then we've got, of course, the hunter attack, which would work, but we really just utilize that one for cloak mostly. And I'm sorry, not cloak, but death gaze. And then, of course, if he's upgraded, cloak as well. Now, I do believe I have a cloak on down here. We'll scroll down and see. I would not want to equip this, though. Right here's one rare cloak on the right side. Now, you do not necessarily want to equip this just because this dragon has cloak. So let me show you why. If we go back, I'll go to train and show you that it's got a little exclamation mark there where it says cloak. Yes, this rune matches cloak. but it's not able to do it yet. If we go over into the roster and like we're going to do an attack real quick, we'll go ahead and select him. Andy K. Select Ember. And if you're going to notice down here, it's actually locked. So if you equip that rune to that dragon, then you're going to find that it's not going to do any good. You do not want to equip any types of runes or glyphs that does not match your dragon. It's not going to give it anything. There are people out there that equip resists to dragons that they don't already have, and they think that's going to give them multiple resists, but that's not how it works. You know, this is meant to boost a spell that is already there, or a resist that is already there. So if you have a dragon that's got lightning resist, you don't put on there, you know, okay, I'm going to put a dark flak resist rune, and I'm going to put a an archer resist glyph, and this way I'm, you know, resisting 3 different things. It does not work that way. It only increases, you know, what your dragon already does. However, if you add these spells out of, you know, what you forge, it can boost the ones you add. But, you know, unless you're adding those constantly, I wouldn't do that. Now let's go ahead and look at some of my other dragons here. I've got Anuba, who has the Reanimate, the Tectonic Tomb, and the Desolating Sand. I don't think she even came with any type of runes during that season that went to her specifically. But let's look at Equester, because Equester, I've got 2 extra glyphs on her that does not match her. It is the Archer Resist and the Cannon Resist. Now look, she's got Lightning Resist, right? But the reason I added this is when I go into the mines in Atlas, I've got all these Cannon Resists and all these Archer Resists that I don't use in regular attacks. So you collect those all the time, right? So my idea, and it seems to help, is when I go into that base particularly, I will of course add one of those 2 spells before I go in, and that will help boost that up and allows me to last longer and get through it much easier. So you can put extras on them if it's one of those you're like, oh, I know I'm going to be using this every single time, like I do with those mines. Now, of course, we've got some others way here in the background. If you notice, if you go through here, for example, we've got, let's choose, here's a great one, Hydron. Hydron is one of those dragons that you actually breed that has a very common, you know, things you're going to see come up in your runes and glyphs. He's got the Rejuvenate and the Wind Wall, and then of course a Lightning Resist. These are all 3 things that you will see come pretty often in your silver chest drops. So with these ones, it's going to be very easy to pick these, you know, runes. Now remember, if it's especially a lower level, if it's under, let's say, not Garnet, but Sapphire, I wouldn't equip anything on it too large yet. You know, nothing over a rare, you know, rare and below. But, you know, this, for example, this Hunter attack would not work on it because it is a, here we go, Wind Wall. Rare Wind Wall. So the Wind Wall will be a great one for this because it has that spell. If I put this on a dragon that doesn't, it is a waste of that rune. So I'm not going to add anything more to this because I'm afraid, you know, I'm going to need this for future videos. So we're going to go ahead and hop over into base runes. Now, it is exactly the same with the base runes as it is with the dragon runes, except instead of looking at the dragon spells, you're going to want to look at the towers that are on your base. You know what I mean? So if you notice on this part of the base, I've got the fire turret, the dark flak, the ice turret, and then I've got a red and blue mage tower. So whenever I set up the runes for this, I really wanted to match those. So if I put a cannon, you know, rune on this, it's not going to do anything for that part of the island. Same thing in the back here. You know, if I equip anything, I'm going to want it to match any of those towers in that area. And then, of course, if you have anything going on beyond that, the same thing. Okay, so if you want to equip something, you're going to have to click one of the statues. If I click this, it's going to show you with a highlighted area of the green as to what that statue covers. Just like if I click this perch, it shows green on both of those. It'll show just the one island is affected by those statues. So up here, for example, same thing. And this last one up here, same thing. So those are what you're going to have to look at. The things that are highlighted in green are what is going to be affected by those runes. Okay, so when we jump into this one, you're going to notice that everything matches everything on my base, and it's the strongest that I have currently. That is the dark flak, the fire turret, the dark flak, and the ice turret. And if I actually go in and select a change, I can actually salvage this for runes. So if you ever get like a legendary dark flak, then I can always swap that out and put that in its place. But you're not going to get that much rune dust. It's not going to be like, oh, cool, now I can upgrade my legendary. It will be a fraction of what it's worth. So be very careful with, going through and upgrading and deleting too periodically. You're going to want to wait it out before you, for example, if you're going to replace an epic, make sure that you're replacing it with, or I'm sorry, not an epic, a rare. Make sure you're replacing it with something above an epic, like a legendary. Unless you've got plenty of rune dust, which most people don't because they do not give out enough in this game. All right, so again, make sure that you guys match these up. Like this storm tower does not match that island, so I would not want to use that. Now, if we go over to the other one, I have 2 of these flax, and I've got a few other things here. So I've got an arcane, I've got a healing striker, a lightning frenzy, which I need to take off there because, well, I don't have lightning towers on there anymore. But again, when you go through here, you're just going to make it match in particular to the things. Now, I don't want to actually change anything up because I'm going to be using that for a later video, but you're simply going to do the same thing. You're going to scroll through and say, okay, I know I've got a storm tower. I know I'm leaving it for a long period of time. I'm going to grow it up. That is another thing, guys. If there's something that you've got on your island that you plan to replace eventually, according to your base building plans, don't even equip a rune for that. Unless it's like a year down the road. Don't really equip a rune for that because then you're just going to have to level it up, pay out all that rune dust just to turn around and delete it all. So do not do that. All right, guys. So that is it on runes and glyphs for this week, where we went over the base versus dragon runes. I hope in today or tomorrow we'll have the next video out, but I want to thank everybody who supports my channel here. I really appreciate your thumbs up, your comments, your shares, even your thumbs downs. And of course, those of you that subscribe to my channel, that is a big help to me here. Now, before you guys leave, remember we have a new series coming in.
What did you say? That's chat bloopers in War Dragons. What?
Don't miss out, guys. Make sure you get those bloopers sent in. This is going to be stuff you see in LC and your line chat, even in your team chat or whatever. If you see a funny, which it seems to be going on more often with the, the new update they have going on with that chat room. I hope they fix. But if you see anything, screenshot it, send it to me either in line, Facebook, Instagram, or even in Twitter. And this new series will run monthly, but that means you will see that one of these will actually be the winner of 1 week each month instead of a Talk Dragon Tuesday drawing. So be sure to get your entries in there for next month's prize on Talk Dragon Tuesday. Another thing I want to point out is if you missed this week's Talk Dragon Tuesday, which is on the Temple Raid video, and make sure you go watch it, number one, so you can be prepared for it. I really did break this down strategically for everyone so they could best understand it. But the big thing is there is a contest again this week where you can win a $20 in-game pack. And that contest will close down in about 4 hours. So get your entry put in there so that you can, make it. Now, you'll notice at the marker when it closes down, which is at noon Central Standard Time on Thursdays, I will put a comment. It'll be the latest comment under the comments that says this event is now closed. So after that's done, of course, I will print up all the names, and I'm hoping either later today or tomorrow we will do a live drawing where I actually will pick the name right out of a bowl, as fair as it can be. All right, guys, so be sure to go check out that video and share it with your teammates, because I know that there are a lot of people that are going to be very confused, and if your teammates do not know what to do, you are not going to be able to make it. Your team's not going to do that great. So be sure to share this with your teammates. Share it with them in line. If you have a Facebook page with them, whatever. So be sure to share that, because I'm telling you, this is going to be the most strategically set, most confusing event I think we'll have ever had here in War Dragons. And that's why I find it exciting, because I love a challenge. And then, of course, check back tomorrow for our Atlas Explorers series, where I go through the things I learned as I learn it in Atlas. Now, of course, I will not be doing any more live streams. If I do, I won't be able to have a Primarch out so that I'm not giving away locations. Actually, someone reached me, get a hold of me, and they were like, look, hey, RPW, I think I notice that, yeah, you're sharing the location as you're going through Atlas. You know, most people block it. I'm like, well, I don't know how to block it. I'm doing this live stream on my phone. There is no like blocking available there. So I'm not going to be able to do live streams anymore. And if I affected your team by scrolling over your area and showing your location, then I am very, very sorry for that. That is not what I meant by any means. All right, so that is it for today's video. If you liked today's video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell. And of course, make sure you share this with your fellow teammates. Happy hunting!